like it was a really great opportunity. This is such a wonderful home. Pictures are beautiful, except we didn't do our due diligence and look at the neighborhood with boots on the ground. The next door neighbor, we have some photos to show you what their backyard looks like, what the front yard looks like, right next door, within 5 feet of our fence.
Oh.
Honestly, if we use Airbnb a lot, we travel and
We're staying in one now.
Yeah, we like to be able to stay in our own house with all the amenities. I love to be able to do laundry, especially coming here into this house, going back.
So why would this place not be a good Airbnb?
And the reason why this wouldn't be a good Airbnb is because if I showed up at this house and looked at the neighborhood, I'd be like, hell no, I'm not staying there.
I'm not even getting out of the car.
I will not stay in this house. The neighborhood is really important when it comes to short-term rentals and midterm rentals. These people are people that are professionals or they're travelers that want to stay in a nice home and they want to feel safe. They don't want to roll up into a house and wonder if they have to keep the doors locked.
And I did a Google satellite view and went through the streets, and I didn't see any of this stuff when we were looking at buying the house.
Right, but that was a Google satellite. Those are like, could have been taking pictures.
It's not the same as boots on ground.
It's not the same as having.
And we're going to talk about that later.
Right. SDR empty and midterm was out. We could certainly long-term rent this house, but also we're dealing with the type of tenant that we're going to get is somebody that's willing to live next door to that. So that may not even be an option for us.
Chances are they're not going to pay their rent.
Right, and then selling the house now, I don't know. So we're looking at this house, and the gentleman that was helping us manage the property had some really great suggestions. The other option for us.
The other option was the best option that we've seen so far is a pad split type multifamily home, and dividing it up into different quadrants and installing another 2 bathrooms and another kitchen, turn it into 4 actual units. Now, because remember in the past video that I told you our house doesn't cash flow, so the house was going to cash flow a couple $100 a month, and that's really all I needed it to. But because of the insurance was so high, because we didn't know about the 4-point inspection, the house doesn't cash flow. Now, the house could actually cash flow in this situation, and what he told us is we could probably expect to get about $4,400 a month by splitting it up and turning it into 4 different units.
Right, which is really exciting. This particular property actually has 4 doors to the outside, which is really cool. We would actually be able to turn this into a 2-bedroom full unit, and then a 1-bedroom with a kitchen and a bathroom, and then 2 single-bedroom with bathroom units.
That's another key, is when you're looking at the property, look at it from all angles. Look at all of your outs. When you're buying a house, you should always think, number 1 should always be single-family home, long-term rental, or if it's multifamily, long-term rental should be your out, because anything else on top of that could make more money. You at least want to be able to pay the bill with long-term rental.
Right, you should always build your plan based on long-term rental, because that's really where you are going to land most of the time. But this opportunity happens to have a caveat to it that we could possibly turn this into something else. And not to say that pad split people are going to be more tolerant of what's happening next door. It's just that this becomes a little bit more viable because it becomes affordable housing for people that probably couldn't live in a very expensive neighborhood. And this is a very economical way for them to find a place to stay as temporary housing as they're moving into something better. The good news about this particular property is that we are really in a good neighborhood. We are next to a golf course. It just so happens that 3 houses on this block have had this unfortunate thing happening, but we're in a landlord positive state, and so they are actually actively forcing them to clean up the neighborhood. This is making it a pad split for us is actually it's actually a really good thing, long-term and short-term for us, because this neighborhood could become a much more desirable in 6 months neighborhood to live in.
And another note too is make sure that you check to make sure that the next door neighbor wasn't killed with a hatchet and their head was
Oh my God, don't put that in the video. Don't put that in the video. We don't want anybody to know that.
It happens. Do your check, do your due diligence, because we are learning through our mistakes, and wisdom is expensive.
Learn from experience. Other people's.
Other people's.